We live in a world that constantly pulls at our emotions. From social media that stirs jealousy, to stressful jobs that trigger anger, to heartbreaks that make us feel powerless. Our emotions often control us more than we control them. But what if I told you that Buddhism holds a secret path to mastering your mind and becoming emotionless? Now don't mistake this for being cold, robotic, or heartless. In Buddhism, becoming emotionless means transcending the chaos of emotions so that anger, sadness, fear, and even unhealthy attachments no longer dominate you. It's about finding a state where you feel deeply, but you are never enslaved by those feelings. Imagine being insulted but staying calm, losing something dear yet still having peace, or being surrounded by chaos but standing unshaken. That is the true meaning of emotional mastery. In this video, we'll dive into Buddhist teachings and uncover 7 powerful steps to master your emotions. Each step is a doorway into a new level of mental freedom. And by the end, you'll see how mastering your emotions can unlock strength, peace, and even spiritual awakening. So if you're ready to learn how to become truly unshakable, keep watching till the end. And don't forget, this teaching might just change the way you see life forever. 1. The illusion of emotions. Seeing feelings as passing clouds. Have you ever felt so angry that it seemed like the whole world was against you? Or maybe so sad that you thought you'd never feel joy again? This is the trap most people fall into. We start to believe our emotions are permanent, as if they define who we are. But according to Buddhist teachings, emotions are nothing more than temporary visitors. They come, they stay for a short while, and then they pass. The Buddha compared emotions to clouds drifting across the sky. The sky is vast, clear, and untouched. But clouds appear, change shape, and eventually dissolve. In the same way, your true self, the awareness within you, is like the sky. Your emotions, whether anger, sadness, fear, or even happiness, are just clouds passing through. But the mistake we make is identifying with those clouds. When anger appears, we say, I am angry. When sadness comes, we say, I am sad. In reality, you are not your emotions. You are the observer of them. Think of anger as holding a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. Who gets burned first? You do. This is exactly what emotions do when we cling to them. They burn us from the inside. The Buddhist path teaches us not to suppress emotions, but to see them for what they are, impermanent. The moment you recognize this truth, you no longer get lost in the storm. Imagine someone insults you. Instead of reacting immediately, pause and see the insult as just sound waves passing through the air. The anger that arises is simply a chemical reaction in your body, not your identity. This is what it means to see emotions as illusions. They are experiences, not definitions. When you train your mind to see feelings this way, you become untouchable. Problems still happen, people may still upset you, but instead of drowning in emotions, you stand like the sky, vast, unshaken, and free. So the first step in becoming emotionless is realizing your emotions are not you, they are passing clouds. And once you stop chasing or clinging to them, you begin to master your mind. 2. Detachment without coldness, loving without losing yourself. One of the biggest misconceptions people have about becoming emotionless is that it means turning into a stone, cold, distant, and heartless. But in Buddhism, detachment doesn't mean rejecting love, friendship, or human connection. In fact, it means the opposite. It allows you to love more deeply because you're not clinging to people or trying to control them. Imagine holding a butterfly. If you grip it tightly, you crush it. But if you hold it gently, it rests in your hand freely, and it may even choose to stay longer. That's what Buddhist detachment is all about. Holding people and experiences with care, but never with suffocating attachment. When we attach too tightly, emotions rule us. We get jealous if someone we love spends time with others. We get anxious if we think we might lose them. We get angry when they don't behave the way we expect. But all of this comes from clinging. The Buddha taught that clinging is the root of suffering. To be truly free, you must love without trying to possess. Think about a parent watching their child grow up. If they cling to the idea of the child always being small and dependent, they suffer when the child becomes independent. But if they practice detachment, they can celebrate the child's growth and still love without fear. Detachment is also about freedom within yourself. Let's say a friend betrays you. With attachment, you may feel shattered. I gave them everything, how could they do this? But with detachment, you see clearly, they acted according to their choices. My peace is not controlled by them. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop suffering unnecessarily. Buddhist monks often practice something called metta, loving-kindness meditation. In this practice, you send love to yourself, to your loved ones, and even to strangers or enemies. Why? Because love without attachment is limitless. You can love without expecting anything in return, and that is the purest form of love. So, becoming emotionless in this sense doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you stop chaining yourself to emotions like jealousy, obsession, or fear of loss. You are free to care deeply, but you no longer drown when things don't go your way. This is the second key step. Detachment without coldness. Love fully, but without possession. Care deeply, but without clinging. When you live this way, your heart becomes lighter, your relationships become healthier, and your peace becomes unshakable. 3. Training the mind through meditation. If emotions are like wild horses, then your mind is the rider. Without training, those horses drag you wherever they want. Anger pulls you one way, sadness another, fear another. But through meditation, Buddhism teaches us to become skilled riders, guiding those wild emotions instead of being controlled by them. Meditation isn't about escaping life. It's about training the mind to see reality clearly. The Buddha himself said that meditation is like sharpening a sword. Without practice, the mind is dull, reactive, and weak. But with training, it becomes sharp, steady, and powerful. Imagine sitting down after a stressful day. Normally your mind races. Why did they say that to me? What if tomorrow goes wrong? What if I fail? This non-stop chatter creates stress and emotional storms. But in meditation, you don't fight the thoughts, you simply watch them. Like clouds passing through the sky, you let them come and go. Over time, this builds a powerful realization. You are not your thoughts, and you are not your emotions. One powerful Buddhist technique is mindfulness of breath. You sit still, close your eyes, and bring all attention to the inhale and exhale. At first the mind resists. It wanders to problems, memories, and desires. But gently, again and again, you bring it back to the breath. What you're really doing is teaching your mind discipline. Instead of reacting to every thought or emotion, you train it to stay calm, focused, and present. Another method is vipassana meditation, the practice of observing sensations in the body without reacting. For example, when anger arises, instead of exploding, you might notice, my chest feels tight, my breathing is faster. By observing instead of reacting, you weaken the emotion's power over you. Slowly you realize, emotions are just energy moving through the body. Science now backs this up. Studies show meditation rewires the brain, shrinking the part responsible for fear and stress, while strengthening the areas for focus and emotional balance. Buddhist monks who meditate daily are living proof. You can see their calmness in every movement, every word, every smile. Meditation is not just a practice for monks. It's a tool for anyone who wants to master their emotions. Even 5 minutes a day of mindful breathing can shift your entire mindset. This is the third step. Train your mind through meditation. Without training, emotions ride you. With training, you ride them. And once you can guide your emotions instead of being dragged by them, you become truly unshakable. 4. Mastering desire and cravings. If you look closely, you'll notice that most of your emotions are tied to one thing: wanting. When you don't get what you want, you feel angry or frustrated. When you lose what you once had, you feel sad. When you fear you might not get what you crave in the future, you feel anxious. Desire is like a puppet master pulling the strings of your emotions. This is why the Buddha placed such emphasis on craving in his teachings. In fact, the second noble truth says it clearly. Suffering arises from craving. The more we want, the more we suffer. Think about it. Have you ever desperately wanted someone's approval, and when you didn't get it, you felt crushed? Or maybe you longed for a material thing, a car, a phone, a lifestyle, and the more you thought about it, the emptier you felt. That's the power of desire. It keeps you chasing, but never satisfied. Now, Buddhism doesn't say you should stop living or never enjoy life. Instead, it teaches you to master your cravings rather than be enslaved by them. The problem is not pleasure. The problem is attachment to pleasure. For example, eating your favorite meal is fine, but if you cling to it, you'll be miserable when you can't have it. Wanting success is natural, but if your happiness depends entirely on it, you'll collapse under pressure. One Buddhist analogy compares desire to drinking salty water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. That's exactly what cravings do. They promise satisfaction, but they create endless hunger. The path to freedom is learning to recognize these cravings and let them go. Here's a practical approach. The next time you feel a craving, whether for attention, food, money, or recognition, pause and observe it. Instead of reacting immediately, ask yourself, if I don't get this, can I still be at peace? This question shifts your perspective. It shows you that happiness doesn't depend on constant fulfillment. Buddhist monks practice this daily. They live simply, not because life's pleasures are bad, but because they've discovered that true happiness comes from within. When you let go of cravings, you also let go of the emotional roller coaster that comes with them. This is the fourth step. Master desire, or desire will master you. When you're no longer controlled by cravings, emotions lose much of their grip. And in that freedom, you discover a deeper, lasting peace that no external thing can ever give you. 5. Transforming pain into power. Most people spend their lives running away from pain. We avoid it, suppress it, or cover it up with distractions. But Buddhism teaches something radical. Pain is not your enemy. In fact, pain can become your greatest teacher if you know how to transform it. Think about the lotus flower, one of the most powerful Buddhist symbols. The lotus grows in mud, yet it rises through the dirt to blossom in perfect beauty. Without mud, there is no lotus. In the same way, without pain, there is no growth. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every loss carries within it the seed of awakening, if you choose to see it that way. Take anger, for example. Most people either explode with it or bottle it up until it destroys them from the inside. But a Buddhist master would look at anger and say, "This is energy. If I can transform it, it becomes power." That fiery energy can be redirected into courage, determination, or standing up for what is right. Pain doesn't disappear, but it evolves into strength. The Buddha himself faced unimaginable challenges, criticism, betrayal, even physical hardship. But instead of letting pain break him, he transformed it into wisdom. He realized that suffering is universal. Everyone experiences it. And once you see suffering as part of the human condition, you stop taking it so personally. Suddenly, instead of being crushed by pain, you begin to rise above it. Here's how you can apply this. The next time pain arises, whether emotional or physical, don't immediately resist it. Instead, sit with it. Observe it. Ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? Maybe heartbreak is teaching you independence. Maybe failure is teaching you resilience. Maybe loss is teaching you gratitude for what you once had. Science even supports this. Studies on mindfulness show that people who face pain with awareness, rather than avoidance, actually experience less suffering. Why? Because resistance magnifies pain, but acceptance transforms it. The key is to stop seeing pain as punishment and start seeing it as raw material. Just like mud becomes the lotus, your struggles can become wisdom, compassion, and unshakable strength. This is the fifth step. Transform pain into power. Don't run from it. Don't deny it. Face it, embrace it, and let it make you stronger. When you master this, No hardship can defeat you, because you've learned the secret of turning suffering into freedom. 6. The stillness beyond emotions, discovering the silent observer. There is a secret teaching in Buddhism that goes even deeper than detachment, meditation, or mastering desire. It is the discovery of the silent observer within you, the part of you that has never been touched by emotions at all. Think about it. When you feel joy, something inside you notices it. When you feel sadness, that same part notices it. When you feel anger again, something quietly observes. This awareness, this stillness, is who you truly are. Emotions rise and fall, but the observer never changes. It is like a mirror. Whatever passes in front of it is reflected, but the mirror itself remains untouched. The Buddha often guided his disciples to look within and find this awareness. He said it is the key to liberation, because once you realize you are not your emotions, but the space in which emotions appear, you are free. Imagine sitting in the middle of a storm, not as the storm itself, but as the calm sky that contains it. The storm comes and goes, but the sky remains vast, silent and limitless. This practice is simple but powerful. Whenever emotions arise, pause and ask, who is noticing this? The moment you shift into the role of the observer, the emotion loses its grip. Anger becomes something you are watching, not something you are drowning in. Sadness becomes a passing cloud, not your identity. Even happiness, which so many cling to, becomes lighter, because you no longer fear losing it. This stillness is not cold or empty. In fact, it is full of peace, clarity, and compassion. From this space, you can act wisely instead of reacting blindly. You can love fully without attachment, face challenges without fear, and live with a sense of unshakable freedom. This is the ultimate step in becoming emotionless, not by killing emotions, but by discovering the eternal stillness beyond them. Once you find this silent observer within, no storm of life can shake you again. 7. The power of equanimity, staying balanced in every storm. If there is one quality that truly makes someone appear emotionless in the eyes of the world, it is equanimity. In Buddhism, equanimity is the ability to stay calm and balanced no matter what happens. Whether you're praised or criticized, winning or losing, loved or rejected. Most people live like a seesaw. When good things happen, they're up. When bad things happen, they're down. Their peace depends entirely on circumstances outside their control. But equanimity is different. It is the ability to stand in the middle, unshaken, no matter which way life swings. The Buddha taught this through the story of the 8 worldly winds: gain and loss, praise and blame, success and failure, pleasure and pain. These winds constantly blow through our lives. One day you are admired, the next day you are criticized. One day you succeed, the next you fail. If you chase after the winds, you'll always be restless. But if you remain centered, you become unmovable, like a mountain that doesn't sway when the wind blows. Equanimity does not mean indifference. It doesn't mean you stop caring about life. It means you develop a higher perspective. For example, if someone insults you, instead of being crushed, you remind yourself, this too shall pass. Their words cannot touch who I truly am. If you experience great success, instead of being consumed by pride, you remind yourself, this too is temporary. When you cultivate equanimity, emotions lose their power to control you. Fear cannot paralyze you, because you know everything changes. Sadness cannot break you, because you know it will pass. Even happiness doesn't control you, because you don't cling to it desperately. A practical way to develop equanimity is through daily reflection. At the end of each day, review what happened, good or bad, and tell yourself, it has passed. I remain steady. Over time, this mindset becomes natural. This is the 7th step, the power of equanimity. With equanimity, you don't just master your emotions, you transcend them. You become steady like the ocean, deep like the sky, and unshakable like the mountain. And that is true emotional freedom. So, what does it really mean to become emotionless? As we've seen, It doesn't mean becoming a cold machine or shutting off your heart. Instead, it means mastering your emotions so they no longer master you. You've learned that emotions are illusions, passing clouds in the sky of your mind. You've discovered how to love without clinging, how to meditate and train the mind, how to break free from desire, and how to transform pain into strength. You've gone even deeper, learning about the silent observer within you and the power of equanimity that keeps you unshaken in every storm. Now imagine living this way. No insult can break you. No failure can destroy you. No loss can steal your peace. You become untouchable, not because you don't feel, but because you understand, you rise, and you remain free. That is the true meaning of mastering your emotions. If this teaching touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs peace in their life. And if you want more wisdom like this, hit subscribe and join our growing community. Remember, master your mind and you master your life.